Hello dear children, welcome you all once again to our English class. I hope you might have gone through the last poem that we have learned, and this day we are going to deal with the second textbook, that is Footprints Without Feet. The first lesson from Footprints Without Feet. This is a supplementary reader text for standard 10. Okay, so I hope that this text will help you to improve your reading skill, your vocabulary, as well as your skills in language. So read this book thoroughly 2-3 times and try to understand the lessons. Okay, so first of all we are going to deal with the first lesson of Footprints Without Feet. The name of the lesson is A Triumph of Surgery. Okay, this lesson just talks about a veterinary doctor who helps one of his clients and her dog Tricki. Okay, before going on to the lesson, let's have a quick look at the writer. Okay, the name of the writer is James Alfred Wright, and his lifespan begins from 1916 to 1995. Okay, and this James Alfred Wright is known by his pen name James Herriot. Okay, and he was a veterinary surgeon, and from his own personal experience he has written a lot of books, a series of books about animals and their owners. A Triumph of Surgery is such a lesson that talks about a dog as well as its owner. Okay, the name of the dog is Tricki, a small dog, and the name of the owner is Mrs. Pumphrey. And I wish all my students to take your textbook first. Okay, take your textbook, Footprints Without Feet. So I am going to read the first part. Today I am going to deal only with a minor portion from A Triumph of Surgery. You have to look in your textbook as I read and I explain. Okay. I was really worried about Tricki this time. I had pulled up my car when I saw him in the street with his mistress, and I was shocked at his appearance. He had become hugely fat, like a bloated sausage with a leg at each corner. His eyes, bloodshot and rheumy, stared straight ahead, and his tongue lolled from his jaw. The first paragraph just talks about the concern of Dr. Herriot, or the narrator, towards the dog Tricki. Okay, so he was on a journey or in travel. All on his way he happened to see this Tricki along with his owner Mrs. Pumphrey. So it says that I was worried about Tricki this time. I had pulled up my car when I saw him in the street with his mistress, and I was shocked at his appearance. So the doctor says that once I saw this Tricki along with the mistress, he was upset and he stopped his car. He came out and he was just inspecting this dog. And what was the things that he saw in this Tricki? It says that he had become hugely fat, become so fat like a bloated sausage. Okay, and with legs at each corner. You might have seen sausage. Sausage is a type of food prepared with meat. Okay, so just likewise the dog seems to be huge, fat, and moreover says that its eyes had become red and tongue out of his jaw, and it seems to be like in a diseased condition. That's why the narrator just stopped his car, just came out and looked at this dog. Okay, and what we see next here is Mrs. Pumphrey hastened to explain. He was so listless, Mr. Herriot. He seemed to have no energy. I thought he must be suffering from malnutrition. So I have been giving him some little extras between meals to build him up, some malt and cod liver oil and a bowl of Horlicks at night to make him sleep. Nothing much really. So what happens here? So after the doctor sees this Tricki in a disease condition, he might have looked at the mistress definitely, isn't it? So she understood immediately what the doctor was about to ask. So she says that, let me tell you, Mrs. Pamphery hastened to explain. Hasten means quickly she explained. What is it? He was so listless. Listless means what? I think he lacked so energy. He lacked enthusiasm, Mr. Herriot. So what happened? I thought that he is not having much energy. So I thought of giving some extra littles. Extra littles or some little extras means extra food rather than the usual timing. Okay. So I thought that he has what? Malnourishment, or he is having some malnourishment. So he lacked energy. So I thought of giving some extra food. What is that extra food? To build him up. Some malt, cod liver oil, a bowl of Horlicks at night to make him sleep. Nothing much really. Okay, so he says that I didn't give much more, only these things other than the regular timing, food timings and all. Okay, so what happened? And doctor is asking, and did you cut down on the sweet things as I told you? That means the doctor already informed Mrs. Pumphrey not to give over diet or not to give extra foods, and also he might have given a menu also. And this time he's asking, I told you to cut down the sweets. What about that? And what she is saying here? She says here, oh, I did for a bit, but he seemed to be so weak, I had to relent. Says that yes, I tried to give him what? Only the menu that you said. But what happened? As he lacked energy, as he felt malnourished, I thought of giving some concession regarding what? The sweet things. Which are the sweet things? Cream cakes and chocolates. See, the luck of this dog, isn't it? The dog was daily given cream cakes, chocolates, cod liver oil, Horlicks. Apart from that, heavy meals, some malt, etc. All these things were given. And the doctor understood everything. That she is the one who is responsible for the diseased look or this situation of this Tricki. And says that, the doctor says that, I looked down again at the little dog. That was trouble. Tricki's only fault was greed. Greed for what? Greed for food. That means this dog has become so greed for food. It's always wanted what? Food. Because that system was shown or adopted by Mrs. Pumphrey by giving a lot of food. He had never been known to refuse food. He would tackle a meal at any hour of the day or night and wanted about all things Mrs. Pamphery had mentioned. Now looking at the dog, the doctor understood that this dog is ever ready to take any meal at any point of time. Whether it is night, whether it is morning, whether it is between half an hour food menu and all, always ready to have a lot of food. But doctor understood that she was hiding all these things and telling that I gave only little cod liver oil, a cup of Horlicks, then some cream cakes, chocolates, like that only, nothing more, isn't it? And now another question asked by doctor. See how much concern this doctor is having for this dog. Are you giving him plenty of exercise? Next question. And definitely this time she need to what? Give answer for this one. And what is the answer she is giving? Well, he has his little walks with me, as you can see. But Hodkins, the gardener, has been down with lumbago, so there has been no ring throwing lately. Actually, now she is trying to put all blame upon the gardener. And she says that, exercise I used to give him some like this. What? Every day we used to have a walk like this. See, now you have seen us walking through the roads and all. And apart from this, he used to go with the gardener. What is the name of the gardener? Hodgkin. Okay, Hodgkin. He used to take him out for what? Out for walks. And also these days that man is not coming here because he is having what? Lumbago. What is a lumbago? Lumbago means a pain in muscles. So he has pain in muscles, so he is not coming here. So this activity or going out and playing with him, nowadays it's not happening. So anyhow, what we see from these paragraphs is, what is it? Doctor is very much concerned over Tricki, the pet dog of Mrs. Pamphery. But she is not likewise. The dog looks like a bolted sausage. His eyes had become red and tongue out of the jaw. It altogether seemed to be in a disease condition. And who is responsible? Mrs. Pamphery is responsible. She thought that the dog is having malnourishment and lacked energy. So what happened? She thought of giving what? Cod liver oil, a cup of Horlicks before sleep, then heavy meals every time, and also she started giving what? Cream cakes and chocolates. And she failed to follow the menu set by the doctor. So what we see in the next page is the doctor's advice. What is that? The doctor now says that I tried to sound severe. Severe means with great intense. Okay, and now becomes so what is that? In an intense or in a serious manner. Now it says that now I really mean this. If you don't cut this foot right down and give him more exercise, he is going to be really ill. You must harden your heart and keep him on a very strict diet. This is a stern advice given by the doctor. If you are not going to give him exercise, if you are not going to cut down the foods, or if you are not going to give a strict diet, definitely let me tell you that he will really become what? Really become ill. Okay. So this is a kind of warning that the doctor is giving to whom? Giving to Mrs. Pumphrey, the owner of Tricki. And Mrs. Pumphrey, who is over pampering this dog, definitely you can just imagine how she feels. Like, see the picture of the dog given in the textbook. Even it can't walk properly, isn't it? It's very fat. So what is that? With much struggle, she wrung her hands. Oh, I will, Mr. Herriot. I am sure you are right, but it is so difficult, so very difficult. She set off, head down, along the road, as if determined to put the new regime into practice immediately. She understood that what doctor said is correct, but she honestly says that, Doctor, whatever you said is correct, but for me it is very difficult to see that I cut down the menu or the food, but definitely I'll try, because she doesn't want her dog to get ill and die soon. That's how the doctor was just advising Mrs. Pumphrey to give much exercise, to cut down the food, to give a strict diet. Okay, and also you must harden your heart. That means don't show sympathy or don't show much compassion to your pet dog by giving a lot of foods like, what is that? Sweets. What are the sweets? It says that cream cakes and chocolates, isn't it? Along with cod liver oil, a cup of Horlicks. You have to cut short everything and give him good exercise. Okay, I think we can stop here today, and the next class we can deal with the rest of the paragraphs. Okay, I want you students to read again and again these lines and try to understand. This is a conversation between, or this is a story just talks about an experience that Dr. Herriot had with one of his consultant, Mrs. Pumphrey, with her dog. What is the name of the dog? It's Tricki. Okay, students, thank you very much. God bless you.